Next up, we're going to be doing some Impoppable with No Monkey Knowledge over here on Logs. So we're going to head there with Striker Jones as our hero. We're going to get started by placing down a Ninja Monkey right over here. Left until red, down, left, right there. This Ninja Monkey is going to do a lot of work for us. But first we need to get this Ninja Discipline. As we can see, we don't quite get the benefit of the look over here. So waiting just a little bit here for that Ninja Discipline. It's teaching us just a little bit about discipline as well. Still constantly surprised at some of the connects the shurikens get on this map. So now we have that Ninja Discipline. We're going to save up for the Seeking Shuriken next. There we go, very nice. And what's even nicer about this is we have the 101 upgraded. And we're going to get Striker Jones. And there's a few times where this Ninja Monkey is going to just barely pop everything on the first look here, making this a pretty time efficient build to do the start out with, and we're also getting Striker Jones at a decent time. So it all works out pretty well for us. Striker Jones is a little bit expensive at 900 though. We're going to slow down right before we get to 900. We have plenty of time though, as we see. Left until red, down, right there. And we speed back up. Striker Jones in this location is also going to do a decent amount of popping. Striker Jones usually doesn't pop too much, but from this location, I guess it's just really good for Striker Jones. We can come back over here and get the Sharp Shurikens and the Caltrops. Once we have the Caltrops, we're going to get the double shot to give us just a little bit more power all the way up here in the front part of our screen. We could get the bomb shooter here, but it's just faster to get the double shot, and we don't want to waste too much time here. We want to get through with this level and do some chimps, right? Let's get that double shot upgrade. And now it's time for everyone's favorite part of the Striker Jones run. It's our first bomb shooter. It's going to go up and then to the right over here. Up and then to the right. This one's going to do a fair bit of work for us. We're going to get the cluster bombs upgrade here, as it's the best early to mid game upgrade you can get. And Striker Jones does struggle a little bit in the early to mid game. Where Striker Jones shines is really in the late game, where everything's all stacked up and he's just buffing all of your bomb shooters. Striker Jones to me is like the opposite of Quincy, where Quincy has everything you want in the early game, Striker Jones has nothing. But the deeper you go into a run, the bigger the gap gets between Striker Jones and Quincy. So we have the cluster bombs upgrade here. We're going to get the bigger bombs and the heavy bombs. Once we have that, we can come over here and place down our Alchemist. Down until red to the right here. We're going to upgrade this to the acidic mixture dip and set this to strong. Then we're going to come back over here and get this upgraded to the Balloon Jitsu. Balloon Jitsu's really good here because it does a lot of damage to the Moab. And we have spent most of our money just getting our build online with this Bomb Shooter and Striker Jones. They're going to be good later, but they're not the best right now. So grab Balloon Jitsu right here. Now we can come back over here and upgrade the Berserker Brew. We're also going to get the faster throwing here, as we're pretty close to round 40. We're not going to have a ton of money to get a bunch of other different upgrades. So we are good. The Alchemist is doing its job with the faster throwing, buffing these 3 towers. All 3 of them are pretty decent targets here. We aren't going to pop it on the first look, but we popped it really quickly on the secondary look there. So that's not too shabby. We're going to get the stronger stimulant here. And then we're going to come down here and get our Wizard Monkey. Left until red. Up. Left. Right there. Remember to click down here, as the click box is a little weird on this. We're going to upgrade this to the Unpopped Army so that we get some speed here and can get through to the Chimps Run that we're also excited about. We are bouncing off those purple balloons a little bit there. Not much we can do just yet. But once we get the Unpopped Army, we're going to be popping pretty much everything here. Grave filling up. We're also going to get the Wall of Fire to give us even more speed. We can now come over here and get our Monkey Village online. It's going to go down and then to the left over here. Right there, down, and then to the left. Right there. We can get the bigger radius and the jungle drums. We're also going to get the primary training and the primary mentoring. Right there, looks good, huh? Right there, so now we get all of the first tier upgrades on our bomb shooters for free, which isn't too bad. We can also get the recursive cluster upgrade here, as it's going to have a ton of range. We see quite a bit here when we have that alchemist buff going. So the speed here is nice as well. We're going to come over here and get our ice tower. It is going to go over here, up, and then to the right. Up. We're going to upgrade this to the embrittlement. And then we are going to get the enhanced freeze and the deep freeze. At which point we can come over here and get the radar scanner, which is quite nice for us. At this point we have to say goodbye to our Ninja Monkey. It has only popped 8.7k, and we have spent quite a bit of money on it. We're going to get 4.5k of that back. And we can see here we can't put down a bomb shooter, right? No bomb shooter. But can we put down the tack shooter? Yes, we can. And that's why we're going to go with that here, as this is a really nice spot for a tack shooter as well. Left until red, down. Right there. We're going to upgrade this to even faster shooting, and then just spam click the upgrades on the bottom there until we get to the overdrive. And now we can come over here and save up for our primary expertise. What I really like about this spot is we get a really prime run through of the balloons down here, and then they come back through over here, so we get 2 really good looks on our tack shooter here. Lots of value to be had there. And we can see here we still have a pretty reasonable amount of towers by our alchemist, so we're not really overloading that alchemist too much. 3 would be optimal, but 4 is not bad either, as they're all really decent targets here. And we see we're floating 12k on round 63, but we're really not having any trouble. The attack shooter cleaned up everything right after we got them over here. We also have the Necromancer to thank for popping everything that we don't really need to wait for at the front of our screen. We won't have that luxury forever, but we're going to have some pretty good late game solutions here. I am always surprised at how good of a job the attack shooter does against mobs. I just hope they don't nerf this tower again. I think before it was probably a little bit too good, but if they nerf it again, it's going to be a very mediocre tower. And we can see here that Striker Jones has already popped 5k. Which is funny because I said Striker Jones is going to pop a fair bit for us right here. And that's going to come later. In my practice run, Striker Jones popped over 100,000, so hopefully Striker Jones has a similar performance here. Otherwise, I'll have some very pointed questions for the Ninja Kiwi development team. And right now we would have the primary expertise if we weren't playing Impoppable. But because we are playing Impoppable, we're gonna sit here for just a little while longer. And there we go, primary expertise online. So now all of our towers are really buff. We can see 3 primary buffs on our towers here. That must be powerful. But now we need to come up with a solution for the late game. And considering we already have the Embrittlement Tower here, the Tack Zone is not a bad solution, and for 24k we get it online pretty quickly, so we eliminate a lot of risk there. It's one of the reasons I think it's one of the better tier 5 towers to go for first, because it's so reasonably priced. It's also why I think it's very reasonable. It's a tier 5 tower for 24k, so going for that first is not too bad. And I know we have sold our Ninja Tower, but we're still practicing that discipline here while we wait to buy that. If you really look at our build though, this is a pretty good setup for round 80. And that's without the Tack Zone upgraded. So the fact that we're at round 80 and we almost have our Tack Zone, we know we have a really solid build here. ZOMG took a little bit of time there, but that's okay. There we go, there's our money. tax zone online. We are quite happy about that. We're going to come over here and place down our mortar tower. Left until red, down. Right there looks good. We're going to upgrade this to the shattering shells here pretty shortly. Shattering shells is really nice here, because mortar towers also get buffs from Striker Jones. Although mortar towers aren't my favorite tower because they require so much micro. Here they're still reasonable enough. Shattering shells, faster reload, rapid reload. Good to go, right? Now we need to find a place for our monkey village, so we're going to come down here. We're going to go down until red. Down until red right here. And then we're going to go to the right. We can just get the placement correct. Right until red. And then down. Right there looks good. We're going to upgrade this to the MIB so that all of our towers up here get that buff. We got the bigger radius there to get even more towers in the buff radius, as we want to have some more towers here later. For 9k, this is a pretty decent buy here. And we can see here we also have the MIB on our tax zone, which is really nice. And again, that was down and then to the right as much as possible there. A little tricky. If you mess it up, you can just sell stuff and move around here. Remember, this isn't chimped, so you can sell if you mess something up. You don't have to start over or anything. And if you do it in the middle of the round, you can close out and then come back in. Now we're just going to save up our money for the super brittle here. We're going to get it just in time. Just another 14k or so. Sure seems like Striker Jones shooting a lot now, right? See that number's going up very quickly there. Just a little bit more. The important part here is getting the super brittle before round 98. 98 is a really difficult round. But super brittle makes it a little less difficult. We can also come over here and place down an alchemist, just left until red, and then down. Right there looks good. Set it to strong. Upgrade this to the stronger stimulant. Get the stronger acid and the perishing potions. Here comes the BAD. No problem for us though. We have so much damage. DDT, no problem. Getting sniped there by the Mega Ballista. So we got a lot of value here from that tower, as we had so many primary towers as well as the very long winding map. So we see here our Monkey Star was the tax zone with almost 700k popped. Pretty decent there. Still a pretty good tower. And we can see here we had some other towers probably doing a fair bit of work. This at 350. This one up here at 231,000. So Not a tower to overlook there. And this tower popped 250,000. That's a combination of everything being stacked up and the Striker Jones buff and the Alchemist buffs that it was getting. And there you go. There's a nice little Striker Jones build for Impoppable logs with no monkey knowledge.